Okay, so it's time to begin with our today's webinar. Good afternoon, one and all present here today. Women in today's corporate world have made it to the board and have achieved a lot taking care of family and work in a beautifully balanced way. It's day 5th of Navratri, which is known as Skandamata. The goddess worshipped on Panchami is the mother of Skand uh, Kartikeya. The white color is symbolic of the transforming strength of a mother when her child is confronted with danger. She is depicted riding a ferocious lion, having 4 arms, and holding her baby. Color of the day green. Green symbolizes nature, health, growth, and prosperity. A true leader always looks at growth and prosperity in a true form, which is achieved along with their team members. A true leader needs to practice mindfulness, and that will help them to achieve success. A mindful leader will always look at the well being of their team members and ensure they are motivated and able to achieve the desired goals. HR Association of India welcomes you all to the 2022 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Humble Leaders. To know more about HRAI and its events, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. Request all the participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It would be great to have all the participants' feedback. So we'll be running a poll before the Q&A session. Request all participants to kindly give your feedback on the session. I now take the privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Ms. Malika Rao, an award-winning life coach, keynote speaker, lifestyle mentor, mindfulness teacher, and a philanthropist. Malika brings over 16 years of learning and experience in holistic wellness. Named as Women of Excellence by the Indian Achievers Award, recognized as a global goodwill ambassador, Malika actively promotes mindfulness and meditation for mental and emotional health. A certified happiness coach from Berkeley Institute of Wellbeing, California, certified therapist from International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, Malika is a Vipassana and Tai Chi practitioner. A fascinating blend of ancient Eastern wisdom and modern Western science, her signature coaching program has helped hundreds of professionals and entrepreneurs to step up their game and live their best lives. Malika is the founder of NGO Project Annapurna that provides nutritious meals for the underprivileged. Currently, they are working on providing food supplies for COVID victims in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Together with her coaching keynotes and workshops, Malika has helped thousands of people find calm, clarity, and confidence. I now hand over the platform to Ms. Malika. Welcome, Ms. Malika. Over to you.
Thank you, Pooja, and thank you for the warm welcome. And I'm very happy to be here, and I see a lot of people here too. So welcome, everyone. And if it is possible for you all, turn on the cameras. Otherwise, it is okay too. But it's always good to see people and interact with them that way. Fantastic. First of all, HRAI and Peter and the entire team, you included Pooja. It is a brilliant idea to come up with this master classes during Navratris, talking about women leaders, talking about this feminine energy. It is so important, especially now. So I really appreciate this good work. So first and foremost, I hope you all are having a healthy Navratri. I would share with you all this personal story, which is related to Navratri 5th day. As Pooja has rightly said, on the 5th day, we celebrate Skandamata. That is one of the images of Devi, where we are actually seeing her in the role of mother. And basically this day, Skandamata depicts the relationship between the mother and the son, or the mother-child relationship. And talking about work and women leaders, I see motherhood happens to be one of the biggest challenges when you're growing in your career. I was working with the corporates, and I was doing very well. I was working the corporate communications space with one of the Fortune 500 companies. And that's when motherhood happened to me. And quite honestly, I did not know what I was getting into. I think no woman, if she ever knows the entire details of the motherhood, the things that she'll have to adjust and shift and make changes to, it is not an easy choice to make. However, I accepted motherhood with open arms. Um, but the challenge actually began once the baby arrived. And that is the time where you are torn between taking care of your child at home and taking care of your responsibilities, making sure the child is safe and secure and well taken care of. And then the expectations of the family and everybody around. And the biggest of all is your work commitments. Right here, we have the work remains the same. And if you're performing well, you want to grow in your career. So this cannot be a deterrent. And that's where I actually found the biggest challenge in my career. So my daughter just went to Boston for her higher studies. So I'm talking about this challenge about 18 years back. And we did not have as many facilities around to take care of the child as well. So there came a time where I had to choose between two and prioritize one over the other and make adjustments in the other area of your life. So and I'm sure we all go through it. And we all women, especially, are faced with this challenge. And I think men equally participate in this now because they are stepping forward to take care of the child as well. And you also have to deal with women. Bosses, colleagues, and also team members who are taking this big leap in their life. So I have realized while it poses a lot of challenges, it also is a very rewarding space. And motherhood actually has helped me become a better person and become a better employee as well. If I could, once I could overcome those initial hiccups, this actually became one of my, I would say, my advantages, because motherhood has taught me so many things. So when I say mother-child relationship, it doesn't necessarily have to talk about, it's not necessarily about the reproduction process alone. Usually we associate motherhood with feminine energy, right? With the energy of nurturing and that emotional connection and intuition and so on and so forth. And I believe it is very important to understand and aspect and appreciate this aspect of your personality. And we all have this feminine energy, whether you're a man or a woman, we have both yin and yang in us, right? We have both these feminine energy in us, which is the energy of calm, clarity, intuition, nurturing, emotional intelligence, resilience, and so on and so forth. So today I want to talk about how to invoke that divine feminine in us and how to celebrate that feminine in us. So how many of you are agree on that so far? Could you please put in the chat box, or if you're allowed to speak, you can unmute and share your thoughts. Any questions? Okay. So I'll take that as that you are still in this conversation. So when I talk about feminine energy, we have been brought up in a culture where we are taught to set smart goals, to achieve, to perform, to work harder and then more harder. And once you achieve a certain goal, you want to go to the next level and the next and the next. Now, it's wonderful to have this kind of energy in you, this kind of drive and this kind of push in you. Having said that, all of this kind of masculine energy actually is very exhausting. You cannot keep up with it 24/7. And as life takes its curves and its changes, we often are encountered with challenges, you see, where it needs more energy than ever. So if you're already working on an emergency mode all the time, where are you going to bring any more energy for the challenges that might come up? When I say challenges, it could be your higher goals too, right? And this is when I say it's very important, and it is actually preferable to use or dip into your feminine energy and hone this energy. Now, like all good things, every aspect must be honed and nurtured in order for it to grow, right? And in order for it to come handy when you really require it. For example, I'm sure Navratri is going on right now, and most of you all must be going through the Navratri fast as well, right? And we do this to detox our body, to take care of our body. Now, imagine if somebody wants to you have a wedding coming up or something, and they want to go on these crash diets to lose weight. We all are guilty of doing that, right? Now, we all know such harsh diets or regimes are good for short periods of time, right? Maybe you could do it for a week or a 10 or 10 days or a month or max 3 months. Now, after that, you tend to go back to the normal once again. That's because all these good things cannot be practiced as a first aid or emergency process. But if you actually create a routine or regime that will help you to create a good rhythm in your life and practices and habits, and every day when you invest certain time, you actually see the process becomes so effortless, right? If somebody wants to have six-pack abs, let's suppose, and if the science says, I'm just giving a hypothetical number, if the science says, oh, you need to do 1,000 crunches, 1,000 crunches will lead you to a flat abs or whatever it is. Now, when you do it consistently for a period of time, you will definitely achieve those results, isn't it? But what if you do 1,000 on one day? It's going to crash your system. It's going to crash your body. So the medicine can become poison too. The same goes with your masculine energy, your drive to achieve goals. The same goes with your feminine energy. And it's important to create that balance, right? So I want to highlight here the importance of creating a healthy regime in order to hone these skills. Now, when we talk about it, when we talk about feminine energy, you will say, okay, so I know if I have to work at my goals at office, like achieve my deadlines in my project and all, everything is measurable. I'm sure all of you know your SMART goals, right? And you can actually say it as back of your hand. But how do you hone the feminine skills like your intuition, or your calmness or resilience, or having that sense of clarity? Now, that's a good question, because these are very, very vague grounds. And sometimes our culture has also shown us that these things are not necessarily gifts, or these are not your strengths. How many of you have been told at workplace or in personal life that, oh, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive, and itna sensitive nahi chalega life mein, you will not be able to go forward, and you're too naive, you're too trusting, and so on and so forth. How many of you have heard this before? Yeah. Okay. Can I have some show of hands here, please? If you all are listening. Okay, so Vandana is here. Hi, Vandana. Okay, so culturally, we have been taught that having this kind of, being sensitive or resilient or calm, speaking softly, and all these things are not considered as leader-like qualities. And we have been shown the picture that leaders are always forceful, loud, or they are very firm, and sometimes they are cutthroat, and they are very vigilant about their goals, and they're very tough and sometimes even aggressive, right? And that is what has been fed to us through all the medias, like society, and the media out there talks about it, culture talks about it, and we have even glorified these kind of aggressive characters in the mythology as well, and even in the films that we see sometimes now. All these things are associated with being a leader. But what do you think true leader actually mean to you? What kind of a leader do you want to work for? Do you want to work with? Or what kind of a leader do you want to become? What do you think are the qualities that are required? Just so I know that you guys are there, may I request you all, and all of you are HR professionals, so all of you are already achievers, right? You appreciate performance and achievements. So could you please tell me what, as per you, are the qualities of a good leader? Empathetic one. Yes, thanks, Tushar. What else? Motivating, empathetic, very good. Selflessness, very good. Walk the talk, very good. Confidence, fantastic. Any more? Come on. I mean, all of you must know something that you truly believe a leader must embody. Humble, focused. Any more? We have 32 participants here. Should be able to trustworthy. Very good. Should be able to trust. Okay. Any more? Neha, Arman, Vasu, Deepak, Tahir, Yash, Manish. Never give up on their team members. Self-awareness. Very good. Now, how many of these lists that you have talked about are actually the feminine energy? Self-awareness, not giving up on their team, which is nurturing, trusting, humble, confidence, walking the talk, selflessness, empathetic, motivating. How many of you have mothers who embody these qualities? Okay, if you think your mom had all these qualities, then just type in here me or I. Very good. Faisal has, fantastic. Vandana, congratulations. Very good. Hi, very good. Very good. So you actually see, thank you so much for the answers. So you actually see this, that all those notions that we have about what a leader has to be. And sometimes we unconsciously strive to be all of them and tend to ignore the actual qualities that make us really an inspiring leader, isn't it? When we are in the rat race, it is so easy to just get lost with it and then go with the herd and go with the notion. Though in our hearts, we absolutely want to work for people who are humble, who are respectful, who are motivating, who are inspiring, who are trustworthy, who keep their word, right? So the first thing is, like somebody mentioned, it is the awareness, and we need to have that awareness too. So today I'm going to talk to you about a simple formula, and you can apply it to anything in your life. And this alone can actually bring you so much more clarity. It can bring you a lot of calm, and it certainly will bring you a lot of confidence. How many of you want to know this formula? If you do, just say I or raise your hand or type in here. How many of you? Do you really want to know this formula? Do you think something like that exists? Do you want to know how you can actually, a simple 3-step process can actually help you find more calm, clarity, and confidence anytime, anywhere in your life. Whether you want to apply it in your career, or you want to take it to your relationships or your personal development, quality of life, whatever that is. It even applies to your health. All right. See, I believe everybody deserves success, right? You deserve success to happen. And you deserve the success to happen with ease and effortlessly. Yes or no? Right? By pushing, by shoving, by going at things in that masculine energy, you will certainly find success. I will not deny that. But having said that, you're going to be exhausted. So there is an African saying that if you want to go to a small distance, then go alone. If you want to go far, then go together. And if you're in the long haul, this is how you need to be creating a holistic perspective and holistic strategy too, that'll actually see you through. It'll help you finish the race on a high. Yeah. So a lot of us want this success, and we are very, very clear about what kind of success we want in our life. And yet, if you only do it from the strategy point of view, or achieving or action oriented, you basically are missing out on all the support that you could get from the other part of your being. So, which is your feminine energy. So here are simple 3 steps that can actually help you to look at any situation, look at any challenge, and overcome that. First is awareness, like I mentioned earlier. Awareness is when you are you're looking at what is without any filters, right? Unless until you know what is missing, or you know what you want, how will you ever be able to go in a direction, or how will you ever be able to take action towards it, right? So the first and foremost is awareness of yourself, awareness of your environment, and awareness of others. Emotional intelligence is just that: being aware of your emotions, being aware of the surroundings you're in, being aware of the other people's emotions. So awareness is a powerful tool. If applied well, you will be able to see the problem. If you all have studied math back in your school and college, you would know. My teacher always used to say this to me, that it is read your question properly. Once you read it 3 times or 5 times. Once you understand the question properly, the answer will come easily. So the biggest part is finding the question. It's not the answer. So here I want to share with you all a personal story. It is about 7 years back. So I'm a professionally trained chef, and I worked abroad as a chef and later as a pastry chef as well. So when I came to India, I decided to start my own cake boutique, and I started my brand. And then we started the shop. Here is where what happens if you all have seen Hell's Kitchen or any of the cook shows or any of the culinary competitions out there. Once you get into the kitchen, it actually is action oriented. Act, do one thing after the other, planning, executing, preparing the dish, and dishing it out. Now, after I started my business, because I'm also the owner, I had partners, so I was a co-owner. I was also involved in the accounting part of it and so on and so forth. Now, what happens in commercial cooking is that you cannot eyeball everything, right? Now, every ingredient is very carefully measured and accounted for. You cannot use more ingredients than it is required because it will upset the pricing of the product. So everything was going as clockwork there. And we were on strict timelines, we were on strict budgets, and so on and so forth. So 1 year into it, I was beginning to lose the interest, or rather the zeal and enthusiasm, because now it has become a mechanical process and I was going one after the other. And that's when I actually came to a point where I was burnt out. I was exhausted, and I lost the enthusiasm and energy to do any more. So one day I was on my way back home, and then I used to drive myself back home. And I used to pass a slum area every day. And every time I passed that area, I used to watch all these children playing in those slums. And I used to wonder how these people get by. And it must be so hard. And here I was making premium cakes and premium food. So it is one of these top end. It was not even a normal, it was not even a bakery. I was running a cake boutique. So one day I just decided just like that I'm going to bake some cookies for these kids. And at work, after my shift completed, I took permission, and then I baked some cookies. And then I went back and I brought these cookies to the kids. And when each of them was taking the cookies from my hand and they were trying it and eating it and smelling it, the smiles they had on their face was brilliant, as if I've given them a piece of gold. And never have I, seldom have I actually seen that kind of smile on any of my client or customers' face when people came and bought it in these fancy boxes and things like that. And these kids were giggling and laughing, and they were so thankful, and they were enjoying. It was just one cookie, but they were devouring it so much and relishing it so much. And that's the moment where I actually realized what was missing for me. And it was this pleasure of providing nurturing, or this pleasure of seeing those smiles. So it somehow ignited or touched the feminine side of my spirit and also my profession. Chasing goals, running and making 1,000 cookies a day or 1,000 pastries a day, all those were nice, but the numbers, the brand was growing. We got good sales, but none of that money and all was actually giving me the kind of satisfaction that I had at that moment. And that was a turning point for me, because I realized that the reason I connect with food, the reason I studied culinary arts and pastry arts, is because I wanted to, because of that love. And I know what food can do to us, right? It is food, I believe, is one of the universal languages, and it's a beautiful medium to touch and connect all of us. So it that moment in the slums was turning point in my profession, because that is where I started my NGO project Annapurna. Annapurna itself is goddess of food, and that is the moment where I decided to turn to her to guide me in my profession. And a few months into it, I became the creative head of my business. Then I decided that I am going to be stepping back and I'm going to give the creative inputs. So in the menu setting and such like things. And then I let the other aspects be taken care by the other partners of mine. So it actually, for a moment, once you start focusing on your strengths, once you start focusing on your purpose behind any action, you actually realize that you are so much more clear, so much more calmer. And when you have that calm, when you have that clarity, you have the confidence that automatically brings confidence. Confidence is not something that you get from outside and start honing it. Once you have absolute awareness about any situation, and once you understand what is that missing link, and once you find that link, everything will start to work fantastically well, right? We have completed this December, I would be completing 6 years of Project Annapurna, and we have touched over 3 lakh lives and served more than that, meals more than that. We work with tribal hamlets. We provide nutritious food there to pregnant ladies and the young kids. And we also transform tribal hamlets and villages. So a single moment of awareness has changed not only my life, not only the life of my volunteers who are participating in it, and also the people who are receiving all the benefits. And I just needed to make that single tweak. So awareness, my friends, it's a powerful tool. And if you can take moments in your day, in your uh, any time, to sit down and ask yourself what is going on, and willing to look at it as it is without any filters, it gives you a lot of clarity to move forward. Now, the second step of this process is acceptance. Yeah, a lot of people believe acceptance as something that you take whatever is dished out to you. But here I want to clarify, acceptance is, again, something that comes with awareness. That is, you're able to see things as they are without any filters, without any preconceived notions, nor are you creating any stories in your head about the reality. You're looking at reality the way it is and accepting it as it is. Acceptance does not also mean surrendering completely, nor is it giving up. Acceptance only means that you now acknowledge the reality as it is. And that acknowledgement can actually liberate you in so many ways, because it resolves the conflict in your head. Most often than not, 99% of the times, suffering happens because, not because of the reality, but because of the conflict that we have in our head about this reality. Because we want it to be something else, it is not. And hence, there is a tug of war going on in your head. And this conflict is what creates the pain, the suffering, and the trouble or the problem. So, if you can hone the practice of acceptance with awareness, you'll actually see that you're now releasing the energy which is stuck in the conflict. And now you have all the energy available to focus on the problem. So now you are part of the solution and not the part of the problem, right? You are stepping away from the problem, looking at it on a whole. And once you're not associating yourself with the problem, you actually see there is a lot of energy shift there, because now you're not getting sucked into that negativity, but you're viewing it and you are slowly putting the puzzles back in place without getting affected. So acceptance is a very important skill, if you can hone that. And the last one, which is one of my favorites and which actually closes the loop so beautifully, is appreciation. It is once you are aware of things around you, about yourself, about everybody around you and surroundings, once you accept reality as it is, the last aspect is you automatically appreciate the way things are. You automatically see the challenge, or you automatically see these things as demands of life and not as a stress. And because once these are just the demands from outside, you're not internalizing them, it actually creates a lot of calm and peace in you, right? Most often we tangle ourselves into the situation and we confuse ourselves with the problem and with the perceptions, and we confuse our stories with the reality. The story that is going on in your head, your narrative is different than the reality. So once you're able to see everything as is, you actually start to appreciate things that are there in your life already. So also appreciate the situation. I'm telling you, you must have heard this 100 times, but there is always something good that we could learn from anybody we meet or any situation we come across. So if you make it a point that if you make this intention that there must be something good in it, I'm going to learn what's good in it. Yeah, what is it life trying to teach me from this situation? Because here's the thing, and listen very carefully. Once every challenge comes into your life to teach you something. Once the lesson is learned, the challenge moves on because its purpose is solved, or its purpose is served, right? So once you already create this attitude of gratitude, attitude of appreciation, attitude of, or asking yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me right now? You know, life is not against you, life is happening for you. And that is the biggest liberation, because sometimes when people are being difficult at work, you actually see that I coach people now. I coach C-suite executives too for their well-being and their calm and clarity. And very often, whenever we discuss, people issues are constant. No matter at what level you are, it keeps happening at all levels. But once you realize that people are not trying to create trouble, people are trying to figure out their own battles and their own conflicts, and this is what they made out of the situation, and they're trying their best in whatever capacity, they're trying to resolve it in their own way. Once you detach yourself from that the world is against me, people are here to get me and they're going to trouble me, you'll actually begin to see that how everybody is fighting their own personal battles. And it is important to bring appreciation to your own strength, to your own calmness, to the surroundings that are contributing to your calmness, and also to the things that are helping you to resolve this issue. So I would say these are the 3 A's. Remember it, AAA. Okay, AAA battery for y'all for life. One is awareness, the second is acceptance, and the third is appreciation. And once you master these skills, you'll actually see that life gets so much more easier, and become aware of both your yin and yang energies, both your masculine and feminine energies. Bring balance there. Accept that both of these aspects are present in you. And when you are able to go with both of them forward, that's when you're able to strike a good work-life balance. And the third is appreciation, that life is happening for you and not you, not to you. And all these challenges are here to teach you something and help you evolve to become a better person, better manager, or better mother, better husband, better wife, or all those areas. Once you appreciate the things that you have in your life, and also what is coming and what is showing up for you, you'll actually see calm, clarity, and confidence are the natural outcomes of this process. So I hope you all have made a note of that. And this Navratri, today we are celebrating the fifth day, Skandamata, which is again known for her resilience, for her nurturing, and for her strength. And you would know, they say there is no greater force in this world than a mother. You know, you ever try to hurt a child, and the mother can actually get the most fierce and most dangerous being there is, right? Whether it is an animal or a human being. So we all have these aspects in us. We just need to tap into them. And I wish you all blessed Navratri, and wishing you that resilience in your life. All right. Do you guys have any questions here?
Uh, yeah, amazing, Ms. Malika. Before we move into the Q&A session, we will be initiating the poll. Request all participants to kindly share your feedback. While you're all doing so, request all participants to kindly post their questions in the chat window. Okay, so we have some questions here from the registration. So I'll ask for them. Yeah, so the first question is, what qualities of a woman makes her humble leader?
Okay, who asked? I'm a little curious. Who asked this question?
Uh, so I do not have the names as of now, but yeah, that's just what the questions were.
Okay, what
qualities of a woman makes her a humble leader?
I think women are born leaders, so are men. But I think we're naturally gifted as women. There are certain aspects that are just blessed or upon you. So congratulations if you're a woman. I think we are living in a very interesting time. Gone are those days where we were counting the IQs, and also the numbers and focus and the action driven days. Those are gone. These are the times of emotional intelligence. These are the times of social quotient. These are the times where people are not only asking, they're demanding for the calmness, clarity, the connection, the respect, the nurturing. So now companies are not only discussing about their clarity of goals and roles, they're also talking about employee well-being and taking care of their wellness, mental wellness, and so on and so forth. So coming back, the qualities that make a woman a great leader is accepting her feminine energy and that humility, that nurturing, that emotional quotient, and the social quotient also, which are naturally bestowed on women more, and resilience that comes with it. I think that gives them an edge already.
Right. Okay. Second question we have here is being a women leader, what all skills and competencies are important regarding the modern age organizations and the kind of deliverables are expected?
So I work with some of the leaders now with their. So one, I think we are talking about equality. These are the times of diversity, inclusion, and equality. And I think companies are making more and more reservations about, or creating more platforms and avenues to make it more easier for women um, to pursue her career. And I'm really, I see that a lot of companies are creating avenues for women to come back after taking a maternity break or taking a break in their career. So that's a positive. And I think we all are exposed to the women leaders now who are leading. The world's happiest country is considered Finland, yeah, and the prime minister there is a lady, is a woman, and young at 32 or 33, I guess. So not only is the women are ruling the roost now, the young generation is taking over and taking up the leadership roles and bringing that fresh energy and perspective to everything. So I think that's a very interesting aspect. What is the last part of your question, Pooja?
It was are important regarding modern age organizations and the kind of deliverables are expected.
Yeah, I think again, they are trying to be inclusive, and equality is one of the priorities. Whenever I work with organizations for employee wellness, also that when it comes to deliverables, there is clarity in communication, and it is the same for men and women. Personally, I would say for women, accept who you are, accept your strengths, and accept your shortcomings as well. Yeah, sometimes in order for you to have good motherhood or the pregnancy time, you may have to take a step back from work, but that's the reality of it. So I would say work on your well-being and make sure that you are able to work along with all these aspects with awareness of both your shortcomings and your strengths. And that's when we'll be able to create more balance.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. So another question we have here is women leaders are believed to be more transformational. Why is it so?
For the same reasons I have mentioned earlier, because of their the natural emotional intelligence and intuition, women make very good, inspiring leaders. They can actually take the team much farther, I believe.
Right. Right. One more question is here. In recent times, a shift has been observed in the women's role. Nowadays, in every industry, we can see women leadership prevailing. What are the reasons behind this change?
Okay, you'll please repeat the last question, as last part of the question.
Nowadays, every industry, we can see women leadership is prevailing. So what are the reasons behind this change?
It was long due. And I'm glad the world is waking up to this and serving the women what was long due. And I appreciate it. Now women do not have to fight for it and revolt about it, and we are being given those rights. Having said that, there are certain nations and organizations which are still making it hard for a woman to live her life. The recent is Masa Amini, where we are going through so much of the human rights. Yeah, I mean, those are also questioned at this moment and made so difficult. So I think there are several platforms on which that women must be given their due credit now. I think it's time. It's time for the feminine rising.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So I can see Tahir has put up here that he has a question. Yeah, feel free to ask the question in the chat box. I'll definitely take that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Pooja, we can ask Tahir to unmute himself so that he can ask the question.
Sure. Tahir, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hello,
Hi,
Yeah.
Tahir.
am I audible?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Ms. Rao. Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question to you is that as your topic was about humble leaders, and yes, I agree to it that women are humble leaders and they are humility personified. And but still, they're not getting the kind of recognition they should be getting, not only in the industry but in personal life. And a very example that I would quote you is just what you talk about the Finland Prime Minister, because I think everybody must be aware that she partied with her friends, and then that video went viral, and a lot of question marks were put by like, what right does she?
True. So what's the question, Tahir?
And
Tahir,
if that
can you-
video,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, the video went viral. Yes, a lot of questions have been posed.
So it means if a male counterpart would have done the same thing, I don't think that it would have made such a you or cry.
Mhm.
I mean, and the best part is the how well she reacted to it, and she took it along, and the way she replied. So my question is that yes, women are humble and all, but still, why the recognition or why this acceptance is not given to women? That's my question.
Yeah. And this is centuries of patriarchy and conditioning where men have been seen as leaders and women as followers. So there are still places where it is not acceptable when a woman asserts her rights. Like I was mentioning, Masa Amini. I mean, the fact that somebody has been killed because she did not cover her hair properly, that alone is atrocious. So while we have a lot of men, personally, in my personal life, I'm very grateful to all the men in my life, from my grandfather to father, to my husband, to my friends, and my son. They know to respect women, and they are to support women. So while there are cases where people are questioning about the simple aspects of life of a woman, there are also men and women out there who are supporting. So I think I want to focus on the positive people and these people who are championing women empowerment. I think we all need to speak up against any atrocities like that, and not pay attention to some of them when they actually try to um, uh, put it up there. And even media sometimes is creating this hue and cry. I wish the reporter who's there, or the media, or people who have the capacity, if they themselves nip it in the bud and say, this is not even issue to discuss about, and this we're going to cut it out, that's it. The conversation is over right there, right? So I think we need that kind of intolerance now and no patience for such things and say, I'm not participating in this anymore. I mean, this is totally nonsense. So I'm not hearing any of it. I think it has to come from each one of us.
Yes, right. So yeah, we are done with the questions here. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the e-certificates offered by HRAI. You can claim your certificate by sharing your details, which are name and session attended, in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. We will email the e-certificates to you based on the details received. Thank you, Ms. Malika, for such an interesting and insightful session. Your knowledge on the mindfulness is phenomenal. I'm sure our participants have learned and gained insights from our today's session. Before we conclude with our today's session, we would also want to thank our association members, Geisha, NASCOM COE, LinkedIn Local, Talcro, TLE, and for supporting these HRA events. To know more about this association, request you to kindly visit the links provided in the chat window. Thank you once again, dear speaker and our participants for joining us today. We wish you all a happy Navratri and happy Dashera. That's it from our today's webinar. See you soon. Stay safe, take care, and bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.